Live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs, it's the First Dips Podcast with our hosts, John Deisty and Justin Underwood. Buckle up and let's go for a ride.
My forehead is very hot tonight.
Yeah, well, I have had a wreck of a week. I gotta tell you, it has been like the last couple of days. Yesterday, two people. I gotta say, two salespeople is the perfect number for Porsche Colorado Springs. I think we were very efficient.
No.
You guys were up and moving and interacting with clients. I think they loved that. Also, maybe we could use a third. Welcome back.
Yes.
This is the bicentennial episode.
That is ridiculous.
And as always, we haven't prepared anything.
Cheers, John.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers to episode number 200.
Yep,
everybody.
pretty good.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Thank you for hanging in there.
Can you believe we haven't been canceled?
Can you believe
or
we've
quit?
had 200 lonely Friday nights?
This isn't lonely. We're here with two of our best friends. This is great.
Oh my gosh!
No,
This is awesome.
This is really fun. But talk about stick-to-itiveness. You know,
Is that a
that's a real word.
going with
Yep.
it? Yeah.
Stick tenacity.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
it. I think that's it. But this is really fun, and I think it's been a great way for us to try to contribute back. That 66 has an open rear window. We should probably close that.
Take care of that. Yeah.
To kind of give back to the dealership that's given me so much. So I love to be able to do this. I think it's super fun. And I'm looking forward to at least 52 more episodes.
Right.
We'll try this for another year.
Right.
Plus the bonus episodes.
Right.
And then we can recommit. We can do like, what do? You renew your vows on your anniversary or something like that. I do promise to uphold the standards of Porsche Colorado Springs while on air and only voice my own personal opinion when it is definitely identified as my own personal opinion and not the opinion of the dealership or Porsche Cars North America or Doctor of Engineering Ferdinand A. Porsche Esquire AG.
It's the lawyer now.
Yeah,
So,
probably.
do you know? That's really good, John. Do you happen to know what Porsche Colorado Springs motto? What is our mission statement?
Yes.
Porsche Colorado Springs
Yes,
mission
I
statement
do.
is? Yeah.
Every time you call in, should we call? We'd have Don read it to us, right?
Yeah.
Or he probably recited it. I bet that wasn't reading. But yeah, we're passionately committed
To what?
to creating long-term authentic relationships.
Through sharing our experiences, integrity, fun, and enthusiasm.
That sounds about right. Good job. Thanks for filling in there. Whew. I've only been here for 7.9 years.
Yeah. Well, we were. Well, you may not have been, but I was part of the team that wrote that.
Yeah, that's good. I was not. I did not write that.
Right. Yeah. No, that started a mission statement. Came from the dealership a number of years ago, and it was a collaborative effort of the staff that was here. Basically, putting on. It started with let's describe the dealership, let's describe what we do and how we feel about it, and just writing like literally. Joe was writing those words on our glass whiteboard. And then taking those words and forming, what we felt is a true mission statement of the dealership. So, and it stuck, and I think it's very true to what we do and the store. And then not too long after that, we have the 12 Commandments of Porsche Colorado Springs, and the people that were, part of creating that. Everybody's signed it, and it's hanging up on the wall, just to remind everyone.
We were talking. I think we glossed over it last episode, but how restaurants hold and retain quality employees.
This was off episode discussion.
Okay.
Off air.
Well, you had asked, how do the best restaurants have the best staff? And I think, it feeds itself a little bit, right? You get a busy place, then people want to go there and make money. So they're going to make more tips when they have higher tickets and better turns. But, as we were talking about it again today, I thought it really, kind of that's true, right? You get a better application pool if you have something that's successful. But if you're starting something from the ground up, how do you breed that? And I think a lot of it is training and culture. And the mission statement and the 12 commandments, that is, I think, it, right?
Yeah.
It's the same idea as you have to have some kind of driving force as to what, that's Brian and Liz. They're pulling in. Are they listening to us now? Do you think, can you go lock the door? It is? Okay.
You may have to go unlock.
I might have to go.
I don't want to be totally rude.
No, we'll go unlock it.
That's funny. It's really funny.
But what am I saying? The passion
Yeah.
stems from something, right? And you have to explain to the people that are coming onto your team, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? And, a few words can help with that.
Yeah.
It's not everything, but if you really believe it and write the words correctly, you can kind of point to it. And it's like, what would Jesus do?
Yeah.
We all need bracelets that say
Right.
IAPCT. I don't know how to do the rest, but wouldn't that be great? We could do little charm bracelets
Right.
that are our mission statement.
Right,
and
right.
every time you do something, you just point to it and be like, sorry.
Right. This is what Jesus would do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think Jesus would want to work at Porsche Colorado Springs.
I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how cool that'd be? Yeah, I work with Jesus.
Yeah, that would be pretty special.
He's one of
Why
our
are they
lock-
leaving?
He's one of our
Why aren't they knocking on the door?
Because they know that we're on.
If they
air.
knocked on the door, I would have thrown the keys at them. Unlock that thing.
Oh yeah, to
Yeah.
one of their new cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That they randomly showed up. That's pretty fun.
Yeah. Where were we? This is such a good episode. The good thing is people that listen knew what they were getting into when they tuned in.
Yeah. I want to say thank you, since I'm noticing comments and stuff are already rolling in. Thank you to everybody that's been so kind, and very polite, through all of this time. And then when we were able to actually start doing the comments, live on YouTube, thanks to Deisty's channel here, being able to do that. That the outreach that we've had for people thanking us for even paying attention to the comments and responding to it.
Yeah.
And I hope to see Ray join on tonight. We've got Stephen H. We got FPB Brandon 1 is here. Thank you.
He was driving Rolls Royces today.
Whatever.
Spoiler alert.
Whatever. Happy Friday. No, I really love that. The interaction is super awesome. And we're here celebrating us, John. Like you said, able to stick to this. Who else would do that? Psh, Joe Rogan. But
Yeah. But he gets paid.
He gets paid to do
He gets paid to do it.
We're volunteering.
Yeah, we're volunteers.
Our time, our money.
All right. So we have 200 episodes. I think we should reflect back a little bit on how this has progressed. Because there's probably people here that didn't listen to the Singer Party episode, our first episode.
That was the very first episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you believe that? 2 and a bit years ago, 3 years ago. It's got to be almost 3. That's got to be 3 years ago. I don't know. Who cares?
Hey, Ray.
We don't have to talk about us. Nobody
Ray's-
wants to hear about this.
Ray's
Do they?
joined.
Hey, Ray.
Congratulations, Ray. Ray's last day on the job was today.
Good job.
Ray's been helping protect the United States of America for his entire career. Thank you, Ray. And thank you, Gudrun, for supporting Ray for all this time. I'm super excited to see what your next chapter in life is going to be. And thank you. He was here earlier in the dealership hanging out with us on his last day. Anyway, I think that's super special. Of all places, who goes to a car dealership to help celebrate their last day, entering retirement? Great people.
Yep. Yeah, no, we love those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Odds of Ray joining a pickleball league.
High.
I think so.
Very
I think
high.
so. I think that could be his game. Yep.
Life's good, Ray. I love that. That's awesome.
So we started on radio.
Yeah.
And
It was a half-hour episode.
oh, that's true. We were just doing
think the
half
first
hours the
two.
first couple. Yeah, we thought, why would people want to listen? Then we did an hour.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, why did you make it an hour? And we didn't listen. We just said, yeah, it's an hour or more
Yeah.
because that's what we want to do.
Right. We can't do
yeah.
strictly half-hour
Yeah,
content
I know.
only.
And we also can't just talk about inventory.
No.
I do really like some of the early episodes because I think we went more in depth on cars.
Yeah.
Because now if we're talking about a 991 Carrera S, we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
And I think we take for granted the fact that the audience understands that
Yeah.
and what it is and why it's so awesome. So maybe we could get back to more of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because some of the feedback I got that Randy from Castle, like he splits time between Castle Pines and Florida. He was telling me that when he listens to our show, he's got Google ready,
Yeah.
and he finds it fascinating because he's learning stuff about a product that he's been so in love with, since he was a kid. But now he's learning stuff, and and he says it's almost like you guys are forcing me to learn about this because I understand some of what you're talking about, but not all of it. And it makes him more interested. So, but to the point is, we do need to catch ourselves.
Yeah, I don't want to be inaccessible.
Right.
Like if someone's listening to us for the first time, why do we want them to listen again?
Yeah.
And yet, for the 9 people that are on right now and constantly listening to us, how do we still keep it interesting for them?
Right.
So,
Yeah. By being us.
yeah, no, we are super interesting. So we did. It looks like I've got 161 live broadcasts.
Wow.
When we first did it,
Wow.
we just tested the equipment. Remember, I bought that little gimbal mounted
Yes.
thing that would go live to YouTube but didn't really work.
Yeah.
And then we expanded. I think Robin Dillon was our first real
Oh, that's right.
live YouTube guest.
Oh, that's amazing.
And yeah, that
Holy
was
moly.
episode 51 and 52.
Robin is the first person that stopped me in our center lot here, our pre-owned lot.
Yep.
And I walked by. She was looking at cars outside. And when I walked by, I said, "Hey, how's it going? Can I grab you a water, soda, coffee, anything like that?" She said, "You're Justin." And I said, "Yeah, that's me." I said, "How are you, Robin? I remember you too." And she says, "You know what's funny?" She goes, "I don't recognize you by your face. I recognize you by your voice."
Yeah.
And she said, which is actually really hard to do because you and John sound very similar. I don't think we do, but apparently some people think
Yeah.
we do.
We don't in my head either. I can't say the word bag. So, yeah. Tote. I should just say tote.
Tote?
I'm going to go put some groceries in my tote.
Yeah.
Take out the garbage tote.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Good memory.
Yeah. Episode 56 was our multicam debut.
Oh, boy. And we've since reverted back to one. Well, I guess it's been you and me.
Yeah. And maybe this summer, our goal can be teaching Lewis how to run the board. And he can be on a little bit too. We can mic him up with a headset.
Yeah.
And then he can sit off camera and make fun of us.
Yeah. Hey, Lewis, what'd you do this
Yeah.
summer? I produced a television show on YouTube.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Like, what?
Yeah. Also, they did testing for kids' aptitude in reading and math recently. Lewis is a 98th percentile in math.
Good Lord.
And we're not quite sure if we can believe Isla. But she told us she scored a 323 on the reading side of things, and it goes to like 340.
Wow.
And I don't think you're supposed to be able to score beyond the 2s. So,
Okay, I'm a parent,
yeah.
right? I've got 17-year-old twins, boy and a girl. And I've always been a super firm believer, as in, I talk to my kids like they're adults. And that, I mean, keeping in mind that they're kids, from the time that they're little, right? No, no baby talk, like none of that kind of stuff. And it's not like serious business all the time, But
No, you can still have fun. We still
absolutely.
have fun. We're still
Yeah.
talking like
Yeah. But
we're talking like probably college freshmen.
sure.
That's
Yeah, but I'm a firm believer. Talking to my kids like they're adults and kind of quasi treating them like they're adults. As far as there's a mutual respect, that happens between the three of us, and they're 17 now, and it seems like that's actually worked out pretty well, for me. And I've been around, I mean, you and Lauren and the kids are like they're like a
family.
second family to me. And that's something that I've kind of noticed as well, is that's how you talk to Lewis and Isla, is there's no, no over coddling. There's no, none of the, you treat and respect them, like they're.
And they swear right back at us. Well, Lewis doesn't, but
Isla loves to flip me off. She loves to tell me when she hurt her finger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that, that goes for miles. I think that really does. And I'm pretty sure I'm not a
Child
licensed,
psych.
psychologist or whatever, but have you ever heard that the oldest child is smarter, like has better grades and that kind of stuff? Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
But you know where that comes from is that the oldest one spends more time around adults than the younger one does.
Yeah.
The younger one typically spends more time around kids. That's just,
Yeah.
a thing that's out there. You and Lauren, you're adults, right? And I think both Lewis and Isla spend the majority of their time around adults
Yeah, it's
versus
true.
other kids.
Yep.
And that I truly believe that gives them an advantage in life. So I have no doubt that
we'll see.
Isla is ahead of the game.
Yeah. It's funny. She never wanted to read. And then one day I'm not, I am not illiterate,
Right.
but I could probably fool some people. Yeah. So one day she just woke up and grabbed a book and started reading it and asking us like, "What's this word?" And we're like, "Huh?"
Right.
And yeah, no, it's been kind of fun. Anyway, enough proud dad moment. Last day of school. That's
Yeah.
back to car content.
All right.
Let's real quick
Yeah.
show off a couple new things that are not Porsche. Well, they're Porsche adjacent products. I will grab my camera. Let's see if we can turn this on, and then we'll walk that around. And then we will get to comments and questions and see what.
Yeah, we got some super cool surprises today as far as fresh pieces here. That
Can you mute me?
yeah,
That was you.
that's me. That's you. We got some super cool surprises delivered today. And, one thing about coming to the dealership is that when you walk in, you never really know what you're going to see. You have an idea, what you might run into, and that's cool stuff, right? It's cool Porsches, whether it's new, whether it's old, whether it's mid-project, finished project, beginning project. And then there's something completely random sometimes. Oh, let me get your camera chosen here. All right, so I'm just gonna send this over. So what John's standing in front of, this is a it's titled is a 1964 Karmann Ghia. This car is absolutely brilliant. I don't have the spec sheet in front of me. It came with one. It was delivered with one. It's actually got like kind of a cool little look at that. Look at the wheel. Look at the wheel and the hubcap. It's got the orange GT3 RS and the reflection there. Oh my gosh, the detail on this car is unbelievable. And I need to get some mirrors to put on the floor with where this car winds up being staged, because the underneath of this car is just as brilliant as the top of this car. If you were to build this car today, if you were to take this to the restoration shop where this was done, Motorworks here in town, and said, I need you to replicate this car, this would be a $360,000 car, like a $360,000 build. Just absolutely unbelievable. I had heard about this car in the past, and I saw a couple quick pictures a number of years ago. And then when I went to go see it in person, I absolutely blown away. We've had Karmann Ghias here before, not like this. I mean, this is definitely not your typical Karmann Ghia by any means. And then I want to say it shows about 400 miles or so on the odometer. And that's an accurate thing. I mean, like if you take into consideration that this car has been redone from the ground up, I mean, and completely redone, that's true and accurate mileage for this car, for this engine, for everything that's been done to this, anything that's rolling on the car. It's a new car. It's a new Karmann Ghia, and it's way better than it would have been from the factory. And just being a cabriolet, the convertible top portion, I was talking to the guys that created this car, saying it reminded me of there was an off-brand company for a while. I don't know if it's still around or not, but it was called Stark Speedster. A client friend of mine created this company with his kids down in the Scottsdale area, and they were taking 987 Boxsters and creating speedsters, but creating like old-looking speedsters using 987 chassis. And they made a car that was spec'd out, designed by Versace. And it looked, it was the same combination as the Karmann Ghia that's here. The car was absolutely stunning. So it's here, it's live, it's in person. And it might sound funny when I tell you to get on the floor, but yeah, look underneath this car. It's unreal. This here, 1979, I believe, is the model year of it. Again, Volkswagen bus. This has been under one single ownership since 1981, I believe. And it's got this awesome little notebook in the glove box where everything's been documented as far as maintenance, what's been done. And then the shop, Motorworks here in town, that's been, maintaining, servicing the car for the last bit now. They continued that as far as writing down everything that's been done. This car, it's got the original engine in it that's been converted to fuel injection. The radio, obviously, there's been replaced at some point in time. This car, again, the underneath of this van is just as clean and nice. Oh, look at that. John's got the repair, or like the ownership history, all the service stuff that's in there. Just, that's awesome, right? Someone has nice enough penmanship, right? They're able to write that down. And then smart enough to put it in a covered book to where it's not going to fade in the sunlight. It comes with, look at that, 7,256 miles is what it says on the odometer. I'm assuming that has rolled over in its lifetime, but as clean as this thing is, it's hard to say. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. The AC ventilation. That vent that John is pointing to goes to the rear seat passengers. He's on the driver's side of the van. On the passenger side, it's got the sliding door. This thing is huge, right, in person, in real life. On the video here, John's a large man, so it looks like a normal, kind of smaller size van, but this thing is massively huge. Definitely room for all passengers in there. Easy entry, get in and out. That's an indoor-outdoor car cover back there. There's a German first aid kit. There's a custom cut sunshade. Look at that sunroof. Look at that massive sunroof in the car. We tried cracking it open. It does work. Wouldn't that be amazing, right? Turn this thing, whether you were just going to keep it, for your collection, if you were going to turn it into, some kind of a party wagon kind of thing. And John, if you can open up the engine compartment there, it's a 2-liter. It's a stock 2-liter and original engine that's been converted to fuel injection. So that way, there's no monkeying around, right? You turn the key, you start it, it fires up, everything purrs, it's happy. But it is still the original engine to this chassis, from what I remember, which is absolutely amazing. And then if he opens up the rear hatch, maybe not, it's okay. I love that. The heartbeat of Germany. Beautiful, absolutely perfect for this thing. What a combination is this car, and what a time, right? So now we have the ID Buzz, the electric van. A good point, right? For the similar money, I think this is $79,000 is what it'll be listed for. You could have a 79, original Volkswagen bus that is just absolutely immaculate, or an ID Buzz, the electric car that's out. Personally, I take the bus. The Karmann Ghia, that belongs on a rotisserie, like one of those round, displays. That's so crazy cool. That is so crazy cool. So I'll bring it back over to us since John is sitting down. Thank you, John, for taking us on that tour. That was very insightful. Beautiful cars. They're here in person. So if you're around this weekend, this long holiday weekend, we're going to be here tomorrow and Monday. Come see these things in person. And not kidding, it won't look funny to us if you're climbing around on the ground to see underneath these cars.
That bus.
Oh, it's crazy. It's super cool, man. That is super cool.
Yeah. I think, can I pick that as my daily?
Totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you think my knees work as a crumple zone?
Pretty good.
You think they're okay?
You got long legs.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
true.
big crumple
Okay.
zone.
It's just too cool.
It's very cool.
How many friends would you make?
All of them.
I think so. You just, wherever you go, just pull up in that, open the door and have like lemonade. Right?
Right.
Just, hey, you guys want a lemonade?
Right.
God, what a thing.
Yeah. Imagine if Cheech and Chong had a van like that.
Didn't they?
It'd be even more.
It'd probably need a chimney. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots
No.
of lewds. Yeah.
That thing I like a lot.
It's super cool. The ownership is neat. You know, I mean, everything about it, everything about both these cars. I am super fascinated to meet the new owner of this Karmann Ghia and the bus.
Yep.
It could be the same person.
Could be. Yeah.
But those are such unique, inventory pieces to have here. I would not walk into this place. And
What's
expect to
interesting
see
is these
either
two
one of
next to each other.
the Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how much was that car when that car was new?
Right.
Right? So that was, I don't know what those were, 200 grand in 95?
The 512M.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
And that, not in that condition.
Yeah.
But you probably could have bought one of those for
10 grand.
$950.
Oh wait, yeah,
In
that's a
95?
64. No, it's a 64. So that would have been that I bet you that was like a
That was a sub $1,000 car. Not in that condition.
No.
For one with hardly any floors and no roof.
brand new
No. New. That
was-
car was
$5,000,
less than that.
4,700.
Less than that.
It can't be that much less.
Volvo 1800 was $39.95 in 62.
All right, so yeah,
And I think those are a little less than that. I bet that was a $23.95.
wow.
Let's do some Googling.
Do some math. How much is that thing?
But
growing
what
in
I'm
value?
wondering is when that car was new, how much could you have bought one of those for?
Right. Yeah.
And I think it's $950.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we were in high school, come
Yeah.
on.
That's amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. The 512 is a pretty super cool, very special car. It's funny. I mean, the Karmann Ghia is sitting next to it, and then I mean when the car pulled into the showroom and it stopped, and the first thing that I noticed was that bright orange GT3 RS sitting next to it in the hubcap. I mean, that's how clean and shiny the chrome is on the Ghia. Unreal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
photogenic galore.
I'm pretty good at this game. The coupe was $22.95. The convertible was $24.95. New
New.
in 64.
New.
They only built 5,262 convertibles,
Really?
according to, I think Hagerty, but it might be AI.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Anyway, I see this car as being a super cool, very fun opportunity for, anybody that has just longed for having,
Yeah.
the perfect Karmann Karmann Ghia, or bus, for that matter right now. But the traffic that we see this weekend,
Yeah.
nobody's expecting to see these cars.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I agree.
These cars are going to get more. There's more pictures of the Ghia and the bus will be taken of any GT3 RS or whatever else we have here. I can almost guarantee it.
Maybe. Let's get to questions.
Yeah. Okay. It is that time. All right. Well, to Stephen H. I guess Stephen H. wants to kick it off. Out of your current inventory, which one would you select as your daily driver, weekend car, classic, and track day car?
Wow. I get 4?
Yeah. Well, you already picked a bus as your daily.
Yeah, I guess. I should have read the question better. That could have been my classic. Do you think that thing is AC? I know it's got vents, but
No, I don't think so.
is it all-wheel drive? Is it okay in the winter?
The bus?
Yeah.
No.
Shoot.
It's probably fine in the winter, but
Okay. Well, I already claimed it, so now you pick one.
a daily
Yeah,
mahogany metallic Taycan Turbo S.
good choice. As a weekend car, Spider RS, the black one.
Dang it, that's a good choice, man. But you know where my head instantly went was the Demand GT3.
Yeah, that's a good choice too. Classic. You can go first on this one since I went first on the other two.
You know what? This is a hard toss up for me, but I think I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the 356.
Which one?
I'm gonna go with the. You know what? I don't know. I mean, I love the B. That's such a cool little car, but I might go with the 64 SC, the white one.
Okay, good
I think
choice.
it's a cool
I'm torn, but they're both the same color.
Ooh, interesting.
Option 1,
Okay.
Guards Red 74.
Yes, great car. Great car.
Option 2, Guards Red 2001.
Oh, that's the car that no one knows about.
Yeah. Can we talk about it?
Do it.
It's a 2001 911 Turbo, period modified,
Yep.
with extra front aero, side skirts, and a bigger rear wing. It still has the deployable hydraulic wing, but it has kind of a GT2 style winglets that come down on the side of that. Comfy seats, except that the driver's seat was swapped out for a 996 GT3 seat
Right.
with Guards Red painted inserts. Porsche Techquipment roll bar.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah,
never seen one of those.
you can't put that on them now.
Right.
What have to be like BBS True Motorsport. I would almost say forged titanium
Right.
or cast titanium because
Cast,
they've got kind of a texture to them. And I don't know that they're titanium. Don't quote me on that. But 3-piece BBS gold
Yeah.
wheels.
Right. Right.
And what sounds like a slightly warm exhaust.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that, but it's got just a little deeper rumble, and the smell coming out of it was a little sweet. I don't know if it just has original 2001 gasoline in it
Might. Yeah, it might.
because it has 875 miles on it.
What? True and accurate.
Yeah.
Accurate.
I just, we did not sell it new because we didn't exist.
Nope.
But it's been with a client that has been into the brand, I guess, longer than Porsche Colorado Springs has existed,
Yeah, it's been in
which
the
is
brand
amazing.
Since the early 90s.
Yeah, and that car, it just has the right look.
Yeah.
You know, it's factory new, but modified, and I love that.
But period correct.
But yeah, exactly, modified then,
yeah.
and then just tucked away.
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
Crazy.
I think that thing's super neat.
It's
It's got
pretty insane.
the original window sticker with it. I think it was like 124 grand.
That was a lot. For
Yeah.
01?
Yeah, that sounds right.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it was a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wrong. So stop yelling at me. Do you want to show a picture of it?
If you have it,
I do.
I got to get your phone now.
Here's the window sticker. Yeah, 124, 195. Base price 111. Dashboard leather package 2920.
Oh, it's leather everything.
Yep.
center
Black
console.
floor mats. A-B pillar roof liner leather. Front console in leather. Sun visors with lighted mirror in leather. Rear center console in leather. Steering column in leather. Porsche crest in the headrest. Footwell lighting. Dome lamp cover in leather. And aluminum / leather shift
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
handbrake.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's more. Heated seats, a credit for monoblock wheels, minus $790.
Okay.
Lumbar support, digital sound, remote CD, and supple leather front and rear. Oh, and $9,000 in exclusive options. Wonder what those were.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask some of our friends if
What if that was the body kit?
that would be pretty sick. If we could prove that that was factory.
Yeah. Hi. Let's tuck that car away. Do a little more research here. Yep.
All right. No, we're just kidding.
Yeah,
That doesn't
we
really
don't have
exist.
that car. I don't know. It'd be one of those two, though. And then track car.
Yeah, track day car. I gotta go GT4 RS. You know what? And the reason I'm standing behind that is because our buddy Salil with the One Lap of America just won.
He did.
One Lap of America with the GT4 RS, completely outgunned in the power.
Yep.
All that stuff. But in his words, they were consistent. They had a little bit of luck.
Yep.
But it's Porsche, right? And as soon as you start monkeying with it, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you leave it the way that the German engineers, the Porsche engineers made it, you will succeed.
That's a really hard one for me
he
for a
proved
track
it.
car.
He proved it for a second time in 3 years.
You must know how to drive.
Dude's a shoot.
Maybe we can get lessons. I don't know.
You guys could start a school.
That sounds good. Dicey Racing School. I like the sound of that. I think I'd pick the sapphire blue GT4.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, I think it's accessible, and I think you could learn a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know that consumables would be that. I mean, still a Porsche, so you're
Yeah.
going to melt some big tires rather than Miata tires.
Big brakes.
But it's not a wild
yeah.
thing. Little over $100,000.
Yep.
I think I could feel comfortable driving that quickly.
Yeah.
And it's a stick,
That's fun.
which would be fun. And it's already got, it's got a harness. It's got buckets and a harness bar with the seat belts.
Yeah.
So I think that'd probably be
Nice.
the one I'd throw in there.
I like Steven. He responded to his own question. So Steven chose his daily is a 2025 Panamera 4E hybrid. Oh, I like that.
Yep.
I like that.
In slate gray.
In slate gray Neo. Nice. The weekend car 2024 911 Turbo Arctic Gray Black Heritage Design.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
That's an amazing car. I can't believe we still have that here.
We might not tomorrow. Don't tell anyone.
Okay. Classic 85 Carrera Pastel Beige. That is a super hot car.
I drove
as
that
well.
today. That's a delightful driving car.
Amazing car.
Yeah.
Amazing car.
Third gear up to like 5,000 RPM is about speed limit, kind of going up the entrance ramp over there. Felt great. Put it into fifth. Still pulls in fifth gear,
Nice.
which up here at 7,000 feet, I think is pretty good. A lot of cars you kind of have to downshift if you want to accelerate. It doesn't go fast, but it doesn't lug, right? Feels light. I think the patina on the car is great. It's been repainted twice. We don't know. The front end has some little rock chips and stuff like that. The tail on it is not original. I don't think the numbers match on the car either. But I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
It's an 85-ish thousand mile, really fun driving.
Yeah. It's a beautiful
911.
driving 911.
Yeah. Starts right up. Actually, if you look, I did a startup video and an underside video and a walk around video on it today. So don't click now, but if you want to know more about that car,
Right.
it's got some fresh interest. Yeah, that's nice. And what I think is cool, sitting it next to the 74, you can see the fender flares grow.
Yeah. Right.
I thought all the G Series cars were the same when I started here.
Sure.
And then at one point we had I think it was a 75 next to an 83 next to an 87. And they each have a different width and different flares to the fenders. There's the SC flares, the Carrera flares, and then the 75 is kind of the narrow body version. And it's subtle, and you wouldn't know unless you had them all lined up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And now I know.
And then the track day car for Stephen H. 23 Cayman GT4 RS.
I think that's a good choice.
I like it.
I thought he was onto something, though, going with shades of grays.
Yeah.
You know, Arctic, slate. I think you could pick up the Grigio Telesto, which is a metallic, but kind of in that same palette. And maybe the Dolphin Gray 356.
Ooh.
And you would have kind of a,
Very Aston
you'd have the
Martin looking
grays.
garage.
Yeah, you'd have the grays.
Right.
The blues.
I like the next one. Take it a step further. Daily Track Crush. One of Schiff's favorite games.
Yeah. I think you have to throw 3 cars out there, and then we have to pick. So I'm going to pick...
Is it a crush as in like...
Kill it, crush it, it's dead, you
it's
have to
not
get
like
rid
you
of
have
it
a crush
forever.
on it.
Nope.
It's not like I
You
secretly
are
listen to Katy Perry.
eliminating that car from existence forever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. 66 911, Ferrari 512M, and BMW M2 competition.
Wait, those are the 3?
Yep.
And you crush one of them?
Yeah, and you daily one, and you track the other.
So what are the choices?
That car, and the M2 comp.
Oh, okay. Well, I would daily the 66. I would track the 512, and I would crush the M2.
Okay. Smart. That was a financial decision right there. Yeah, no, I think that was smart.
I'm not asking you the same question. Let's see, because where's this going?
That was before I went up to show off all
Totally.
the other
No,
cars.
this is
That
a
was
while
long
ago.
time
The comments are awesome. Thanks for celebrating us, Dan. We celebrate you
every day.
day.
Every day.
We got you your own office, Dan. I love Ray. Life is good. That's awesome. Oh,
The slim chances that's about pickleball.
Yeah, right.
Don't knock it till you tried it, Ray.
That's right. Yeah, I think that's what happens with all those people is they're like, yeah, I'll try it. And then before you know it, they've got 8 paddles and special shoes and all that kind of stuff. I like the bracelets. Yeah, very cool bus. Question on the Ghia. Is the engine spiced up at all or fully stock? To be completely honest with you, Dan, is I didn't really review the spec sheet that closely. I have a feeling it's mildly spiced up. I don't think it's like, it's not a race car. It's definitely a cruiser. I think it's, I know it's still carbureted. It's got some big giant carbs on it. So I think it's a little bit turned up, but nothing that's crazy. Nothing that would feel, out of the ordinary for that car. I know nothing about melting Porsche tires.
True.
So, okay, well, go to Slush. You might figure out how to melt some tires. Which, by the way, our Porsche, or it's not Porsche, it's Power Sports Colorado Springs. They have a booth, I guess, down at Slush happening this weekend. And one of our Lizard Green GT3 RS is down there, which is already making good traction in the social media gallery. I don't know who it was, but I was told that some girl, influencer person is down at Slush this weekend, and she posted a picture of our car.
Wow.
Already, and this person has like a 1.2 million followers or whatever, so that's good.
Good for her.
So there's a good display going on. It's going to be a good weekend. Having a lot of fun down there, I guess, tomorrow.
Yep.
So we'll be here.
Yep. Ray, the Karmann Ghia has lived up here at altitude, so it must be tuned for living around here. I don't know how high or low it can go, but if you drove it in Colorado Springs, it sounds like it would work pretty good.
From what I've learned with early 911s and 356s is this does have some big giant carburetors on it. So wherever it goes, it will need to be tuned. I've learned that like kind of the smaller carbs are a little bit more forgivable.
Yeah,
right.
I've heard the same thing.
Yeah, for high altitude, going to sea level. Now, granted, obviously, from 7,000 to sea level, you're gonna have to make some changes, right? But the big carbs, if it lives at 7,000 feet, it does great here all the time. When you take it to 4,500,000,
4,500,000 feet.
Yes.
When you take it to the moon.
When you take it to 4,500 feet, it's going to act differently.
Yep.
And more noticeable, I guess I should say.
All right.
Yeah.
We got 15 minutes.
That's it?
Yep. What do you see as next steps forward for the First Dibs podcast?
More guests.
Okay.
Bigger guests.
What do you mean bigger?
Okay. So one person that's going to be around, well, we have a lot of people that are going to be around for the month of June. What's her name that's driving the GT4S? Amelia?
Yeah, Amelia Hartford.
Hartford, yeah. So she may be on the show. Not saying that we're going to have all these like crazy YouTube, Instagram sensations or whatever on the show, but I think that we've got enough traction going now that there's enough interest. I still really, really want to get the Sheffield watch guy,
Yep.
on the show.
Jay.
Yeah, get Jay on the show. I think that's just super interesting.
Yeah.
But I think, having guests on the show is really interesting. We learn something.
What if we put them on a stool behind us and we don't give them a microphone?
That would be really
Wouldn't
funny.
that be fun?
That would be really fun.
And just we continue doing the show. We're on the air.
Yeah, or maybe
Just hold on.
Maybe when we put Amelia on the show, we just don't turn her mic on, so she has no idea that no one can hear.
Yeah. Well, what I was thinking is, Josie Rimmer and Michelle Mouton are probably going to be here
Yes.
during Pikes Peak.
Yes.
And what I thought might be kind of fun is if we just invited them all on
Right.
and we just said, you guys can just chat. We're just getting out of the way.
Right.
Because we're not going to contribute anything positive to this.
Right.
So go ahead. It's your floor. Obviously you probably all have your own ways of getting the word out, but thanks for coming. And what can we get you to drink? Right? I thought that might be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. No, there's going to be all kinds of cool stuff that's happening. I mean, starting now.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's next month. That's a week away. Let's think more than that. What should we do? We got to commit to making something better. I'm going to commit to bringing Lewis to work at least a Friday every month.
Okay.
Through the summer. So we'll have production assistants.
I would like to do a couple, or at least maybe a little bit more often remote, like on location shows if
That's a good thought. Yeah, the Zuffengruppe, that was fun.
Yep.
Maybe we could go visit Fuel Fed,
Yeah.
do that. Let's put in some time for Telluride.
Yeah.
Let's get my vacation request approved for Monterey,
Oh, sure.
so we could do a Friday night
Yep.
podcast live from Monterey,
That's pretty cool.
shutting down Works reunion.
That's right.
That'd be good. We could do a Works reunion walk.
That'd be cool.
Man,
Give Spike's Car Radio a run for their money.
yeah.
They already
Well,
copy us, so
no, well, they get to do it at Pebble Beach.
right.
They get to take donations to donate to the Boy Scouts of America.
That's cool.
Is that it?
Good for them.
That was like 4 minutes of the 15 we had left.
Oh, gee, it was.
Yeah, you got to think bigger.
I don't know. That's a tough one. One of the mottos for this year's Pikes Peak Hill Climb is anything's possible. They're having stickers made up for it.
That's good. How about this? We put a new car there every week
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and run around it,
That would be good.
and
That'd
just
be good.
commit to doing it.
Yep. Yeah, that would be great. I like that. I think the lot walks are really good. Yeah, so that would be perfect. That'd be easy. Ray just asked, Pikes Peak International Hill Climb folks coming soon? Yep.
Yep. Hopefully they'll still talk to us.
Yeah, I think they will.
I mean, Romaine's back.
Yeah, Romaine's back. David
He's driving a
Donahue.
Mustang.
Is he?
Yeah. So it's the first. It was the Ford.
You're right.
Super van,
Yeah.
and then the Super van evolved into the Lightning, and now the Lightning. I think I'm not 100% on this. They just showed a picture, but I think that has evolved now into a Mustang, where maybe they've lowered it, fixed aerodynamics, made that better. Maybe pulled weight out. I don't know, but that'll be pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Romain will be here. David Donahue's coming back. Jeff Swartz coming back. Yeah, no, lots of people. I'm trying to think. Who's Romain's? So Romain has one of his personal cars, a 997 Cup car, I think that's running.
Nice.
One of
Is
his
that the
friends is driving.
Haribo car?
Maybe.
Nice. That'd be fun.
Oh, Lonnie Unser's coming back.
Lewis said her car's looking good.
That's cool. So we should have all those people
It
on.
would be fun. I would love to chat with any of them anytime.
Hopefully we could see Magnus Walker maybe show up.
Maybe. I don't know.
It'd be kind of fun
Yeah.
if he's around.
What's the
Oh, our friends.
yes, yeah, the Twins tour.
Right.
They will be here, I think, with a 997 turbo and their Sonderwunsch 930
Yeah.
Targa turbo.
That's awesome.
So we can put those cars right there,
Yeah.
and talk to them about that.
Christian and Ortron.
Yeah, we've got your calendar right up here
Yeah. No one can see that because we don't have a producer to
to
change
flick
the
to
camera.
it.
But
That's okay.
yeah, they had their own calendar made, like their own Porsche calendar made, which is pretty awesome. And everything's here in the States, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, we've got a, now granted, everybody that we've just mentioned for the most part, they're all going to be here in like through a month's time.
Yeah.
So spacing that out, it can be difficult. So that just means that, there's people we should schedule. And I think that gives us room, to do some remote,
That's
shows.
a good one. Let's figure out how to have a remote guest, because that's been something we've kind of sworn off on.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like it's just hard.
It is hard.
The rapport
There's some-
and
Yeah. It's just disconnect. Yep. No, that's a great point.
we're professionals. We can do that.
You can figure that out.
Yeah.
And I like the idea, just making sure we've got new inventory sitting behind us every week, and then doing a walk around once in a while of the lot would be good.
Okay.
So, what else do you have in mind?
I think it's probably good.
I got a really, really nice message from some listeners, a listener that whether you're watching right now, or you'll watch later or listen later, but I talked about the Geeks for Kids deal that we're doing here, July 26th. And anyway, and that touched her. Like, I mean, that, she felt it was necessary to just acknowledge, I heard what you're doing, and I think that's great. And I think that's amazing because it really shows that the people that we have listening and watching, this every week, they're not even so much really paying fully attention to the cars that we have, but they're listening to what we are doing, with our community, with our peers, having fun, sharing experiences, through integrity, fun, and enthusiasm, right? That we do it here at the dealership. And it's more than just cars, right? I mean, I think we're helping make an impact for so many people and sharing stories and raising awareness, to these super cool things, that are happening for kids and adults and, and everything in between, anything that's motorsports related, anything that just brings joy, and happiness. And Porsche, I mean, as a brand, helps do that, just in general. And I think we're extremely fortunate that we've got the leadership that we do here, the ownership that allows us as First Dibs to do things like that, to let us kind of run with it. And, the word that I get if I were to bring this up, with Joe saying like, hey, this was thrown in my lap. Do you have any thoughts? And the response is a lot of times like, just run with it. Do what you think is right. We're lucky. We're incredibly lucky to have people like that in our lives that let us do that and make such an impact, for other people. So, and it's bringing people here, not as a sales event, right? But at the same time, I mean, what cooler place, to host some of this stuff that's happening. It's a great venue. It's a great outreach for it. So anyway, I'm really glad that people are paying attention to that, and it's making a difference for some out there.
Yep.
So thank you. Thank you for
good
your
job.
message.
That's a good note to end on.
All right. Is that it?
That's all I got.
200 in the books.
Yep. That counts.
Okay. Maybe we'll take next week off.
That sounds nice. Maybe let's just, what if we just told Lupe and Nancy that they had the reins and we showed them how to push buttons and just said, you're up, we're
Right.
off. So I was watching Chef's Table Legends, which Chef's Table I love. It's a Netflix documentary series about profiling chefs and the food that they've made and how they've come up in their career and whatever it is. And some of my favorite episodes they've done, they profiled a pizza chef that we went to her restaurant in Minneapolis. And then there was an Italian chef that made these noodles where he made tortellini that was the size of your pinky nail. And they made soup that had like 20,000 of them per bowl. And it was just insane, right? And the most recent one that we watched was about Thomas Keller, who is the chef that runs Per Se in New York.
Okay.
And the French Laundry in Napa. Yountville, I think, is technically where it is. But two of the top-rated restaurants in the world. They both have 3 Michelin stars. He's the only American, I believe, that's ever had 2 restaurants that both held 3 Michelin stars.
Wow.
So, dude's legit, right? Talks a little bit about his struggles, kind of starting, and then when he really found home at the French Laundry, which I didn't realize was a restaurant before he bought it. So,
Okay.
super interesting. But he was opening a second restaurant. He had the French Laundry and he was opening up Per Se. And in the middle of one of the services, they saw a fire in the wall at Per Se. And the fire department came in and like tore out the wall and hosed everything down and just ruined the restaurant to save the restaurant.
Yeah.
But it was no longer livable. And he was about to head back to the French Laundry. And now he couldn't. He had to stay there to rebuild all of this stuff. And at that moment, what he kind of realized was, a lot of chefs in the past, their problem was they were amazing, but they couldn't pass the torch to a next generation. So they had an amazing restaurant that rode this wave and crested and then fell, and it died. And what he wanted for his restaurants was for them to continue past him. And the only way he was going to be able to do that was to teach the next generation and to allow them the space to take over. And that is what he's kind of realized is his legacy, is helping develop other amazing chefs and not just keeping it all for himself. And I'm not saying that I am a Thomas Keller level chef or car salesperson, but what I do think it really helped me realize is, I am here because of the people that have helped me along the way. When I started, Julio hired me. It took him a month, but I think he was trying to figure out why somebody that had such a ridiculously good-looking resume was applying to wash cars.
Right.
And, then Marcus, he helped me figure out how to do that job well. And Jeff Pinkstaff, if it wasn't for Jeff, I would have quit.
Sure.
Right? We had days that were just so bad where there was just too much to do and we couldn't figure it out. But because we were just a couple idiots chatting like this, we made the best of it.
Right.
And he helped me continue on. And then getting to know the sales guys like James, who was actually, even before I worked here, James took an hour out of a Saturday and showed me around the dealership like I was going to buy a car, knowing I wasn't going to buy a car. Super special day for me and Lewis, changed my whole life. How cool is that? Travis, Joe Rothman, that guy, I think, went out on a limb for me and said, yeah, I think John could do this. He knows enough about the cars where, he doesn't know everything, but he understands generations. He understands why they're cool. He has the enthusiasm. Like, thanks for doing that for me. And then for Joe and Ted to pull me aside and say, we realize, you applied to do this. You probably want to go do something else. Where do you see yourself? And at that point, I had watched a couple other salespeople wash out, and because they were good at selling Toyotas, but they didn't understand our product. And so they gave me a chance, and, you obviously, but Dave Petiti showing me that you can tell if a thermostat's working on a 993 by putting your hand on the fender.
Right.
He didn't have to do that. And I feel like that's something that maybe I have an opportunity to do now where I haven't embraced it as well as I could. And that lifting up, other people that I work with doesn't diminish what I'm doing. It just helps everything, right? I'm not competing with, we'll probably have another new salesperson soon. I would think, right? Mary Ann just retired. She graduated through the school of Porsche Colorado Springs and now gets to go do her own thing. Yeah. So to fill her shoes, we're going to need somebody else. And rather than, taking kind of the I'll help you when you ask me approach, maybe I should be a little more proactive in it.
Yeah.
So.
I like it, John. And just real quick, Stephen H., thank you so much. We appreciate you for joining us every week and keeping the conversation rolling with the good comments and good questions. And Raymond, I'm excited for you because now you can start joining us more, and we're looking forward to your comments and questions as well. And then, FPB Brandon 1, it brings it home for us, buddy. Thank you for keeping us going, and we really do look forward to another 100 and more episodes.
52. I've signed up for 52. I've signed my contract
renegotiation.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So anyway, if that's it, John, I'm going to sign us off.
Do it.
For the First Dibs podcast from inside Porsche Colorado Springs, I'm John. He's Justin.
You're totally messing with Robin.
I'm Justin. That's John.
Yeah.
We really love everybody that's tuning in, and we look forward to another 200 or more.